Hi, it's Matt from Pretius here, and in this video I'm going to do a coding challenge. So what the challenge is I've been sent through a contact of mine a junior developer task for, and this is kind of like an interview for a PHP job. So the whole interview is to build this application in PHP, and I'm going to see if I can do this in Oracle Apex, and it'll be a live coding video from myself as well, so there will be some errors in there. We'll get stuck on times, so I'll be talking about how I'm designing this application, and I'll be talking about some of the challenges we're facing, and I'm going to do this using Json, and I'm going to use some of the dynamic regions with Apex as well, so look out for that. Okay, so what the challenge is to build this application. So there's a web app with 2 pages, a product list, and adding a product page. So sounds okay so far, and there's a video how to do it. There's some PHP requirements here using object-oriented principles, meeting standards, using versions of PHP and jQuery, but jQuery UI is prohibited. So we're going to try this in Apex, and what the first page of this is a product list. So we go to our website. It'll be accessible by your website /. It doesn't look like any authentication here, so I'm going to try and turn the authentication off. They're very picky over static IDs of buttons because they're going to use a testing framework to test the candidates' applications. I'm not going to use their testing framework for this Apex application, so I'm not too bothered about using static IDs. So it looks like on the first page I've got like a breadcrumb here of a type. I've got an add and mass delete. So you can see all the products here in these cards, very similar to cards in Apex. So we've got like the top row looks like discs or optical media. It's got a price and a size. The next one is a book. As a price and a weight, and the last one is a type of furniture with dimensions and also price and description as well. There's also this checkbox, so you check a few of these and you press the mass delete, and the ones that you've checked will be deleted from your database. What's more, on the product list page, this should not be split by product types. They should be sorted in primary key. Okay, so unlike the picture, sorted in primary key. The must-have is a SKU, a name, and a price in dollars. Okay. One of the product-specific attributes and its type. So they've got size, a weight, and a dimensions. So based on the product type, you get this little summary, like a weight, 2 kg, or a dimension. So that's furniture. So I get a dimension. That's is it a DVD? Yeah, DVD disc. That's a very small DVD if it's only 700 megabytes. So a DVD shows the size in megabytes there. Okay, fine. Okay, so we have an add, so we can add a product, and we'll be told about that on the next page. A mass delete, yes, for the tick boxes. No pagination, okay, we can turn that off. No notification messages or alerts, okay, and make sure those are off. I think this is to do with the testing framework, to be honest. On the product page, we have a product add. We have a SKU, a name, and a price. So those are static for all of the product types that are available. Then we've got something called type switcher. Okay, so we can switch between DVD, furniture, and book, and as we switch, we see different dynamic fields. Okay, so this is somewhat of a challenge for Apex to do dynamic fields. Dynamic fields in Apex are more coding than declarative and low code, but we'll see how we get on here. Okay, what else? So we have some text representation, SKU, name, price, product switcher, and a product type attributes. So for furniture, we get 3 fields. For book and disc, just 1 field each. There's some more options here. The form should be dynamically changed when the type is switched. Okay, so we'll try that. There's some clue like please provide weight or please provide size when the product type is selected. Some mandatory fields. There's a save or cancel button. Oh, there's no dialogues like are you sure? Okay, fine, fair enough. There's a QA to test it. You can submit it, and good luck with the challenge. Okay, I think so. I need some luck with this challenge, so we're gonna give it a go. Right, so first thing is we're gonna go straight into Quick SQL. Okay, so I've got a little cheat sheet here, and you can see that I've had one attempt at it so far, and this is my second attempt at building the application. So we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to create a product table. I'm using Quick SQL because with 10 lines of code, I can generate over 300 lines of code. So I like this a lot. I'm going to use insert 12, so I can insert some 12 records here. There was 12 on the picture, wasn't there? I think it was a 4x3 grid. 4x3, yep. So I've got 12 records like the picture. Okay, I've got SKU, name, price, product type. The price, they're all looking low prices. I'm going to use a between. Usually what I use is a between here. You get a check constraint, but the script honors it, so Quick SQL honors it by putting a value between those prices. And then what I normally do is just delete that off. Yeah, but you can use values as well. It doesn't give you a check constraint, but it gives you values in uppercase, which is not completely what I asked for, but you've got it in uppercase, yeah. Then I thought, well, how do we get these attributes on? Well, if I could just list them all, like size, weight, height, width, length, I could just add them all here. But then some fields are not relevant for some products. Like length is not going to be important for a DVD, and it's always going to be null. And that doesn't kind of sit right with me. You know, what if I'm not really happy with having lots of nulls in my database for columns that are not relevant to this. And what's more, if I suddenly decide to invent more attributes, then how am I going to put them in? I'm going to put loads of columns here. What if I've got other product types that are available here? You know, how am I going to fit them all in for like electronics or hard drives? Like hard drives have got lots of attributes like the size, the spin speed, you know, the connector type, all these different types of attributes. And I can't just have loads of like hard disk fields here for something that's not relevant to something like a book. So I'm going to abandon this single table idea with multiple columns on, and I'm going to go for something else completely, which is my new example. So I'm going to go for 2 tables now. Now I've realized in my database I've got lots of tables called products, so I'm just going to call it X product to separate it from my other table. And I'm going to generate here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have let's start with the product. In my product, some things that don't change I'm going to have as columns, like SKU, name, price. Those don't change. However, for my attributes, I'm going to stick them all in a JSON format here. And in my product type, I'm going to have a name like book, or a friendly name like book again, but I could just change it to something bigger there. I've got attributes as JSON. So in attributes here, it defines what the JSON column should contain on my form when it asks for those attributes. So when I change to furniture, furniture attributes will be height, length, width. Yeah. Do you remember there was some information text? So we'll see how we get on with that. The information text was down here, like it says, please provide dimensions. Well, that's only applicable for furniture. For book, it asks for the weight, I think. Okay, let's get back to Quick SQL. So I'm going to put the text in there. In the summary function, okay, so I'm going to have a little bit of dynamic SQL in here. Now this is for the summary. Remember on page 1, this is asking for size and weight and dimensions. Well, for me to detect this is furniture and put these X's in here, then I need some kind of function to do this for me. And it'll be a dynamic function based on the type here. So these are some values. I'll show you what I've actually got. Yeah, I'll show you what I've got in, if I borrow this. Oh, this is the live demo bit. So open up a command and we'll just select from that table, I guess. And then use Control Enter, a little shortcut for you, to just run it rather than moving the mouse over to run. So on DVD, I've got an array of columns, and I've got a name, size, and I've got a label, a data type, units, and an order. For furniture, I've got more. For book, I've got the same but a different field. The summary function is like for DVD, I've got size in megabytes, and then a function which I'm going to call. I'll explain all that later. Okay, so it's a bit unreadable in this format. So I'll show you a readable format. So in the type, we've got columns. We've got 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. They've all got an order, which should be displayed in my form, 1, 2, 3. They've got a name, so refer to that as like a code, height. I've got a label, like height in centimeters, because that's what they asked for in the picture. I've got a data type, a number. They're all number, in fact, all of them. But I could switch for a number field to a text field to a select list or something like that dynamically. I started to add some more on, like units. So it'd be like kg for weight, and these are all in centimeters. And I think the DVD was in megabytes, so MB. So I've got a facility to have different units, and then a display order in there. So that's how it looks. Remember on my product table, I've got to save these. I've got to save them with the value. Well, I don't need the label when I save it, so I'm eventually going to save it like this. So I've got attributes. What was the value for height? What was the value for width? And what was the value for length? So nice and simple JSON. So I can save that in. And then I've got a function to pull all those values out and display it in the summary. Yeah. Okay, so let's get on with the application. So in the script editor, I've created these tables here, the index, and all those values. I've already got the tables, so I'm just going to hit this magic button here to create the app, and it creates an app based on this script. So I'll create the application here. Probably change a few things when the application wizard opens up. Okay, so I'm going to change it to Redwood Light, just because I like this theme. Mega menu, I always promote mega menus as much as I can. Homepage, that's fine. Product type, I don't really need that page. How do I remove that? Product type, I don't need that, so let's delete that. I've got a form with product, perfect. Let's have an about page. Anything else I need here? Wanted authentication off, not supported. I can't create. Why can't I create the application? I need a name. Okay, so let's call it junior developer task. Yep. Oh, should I call it more about products? Oh, we'll keep it like this. Create application. So in a few seconds, that should create me my application. Okay, let's turn that authentication off. I don't think I need that. So I always think here, because it creates the Apex authentication scheme, should I just change that to none, or should I just create another one? I'll create another one. So we could always flick between the two, call it none, and that will be an authentication. Fine. So when you create that, it sets it as the default one, so I don't need to set it because it's current there. What else do I need to do since I'm in here? Well, I want to bypass that home page. So how do we do that? I think it's in here. So we set the landing page to page 2, I think it was. Do I want a green rocket? Yeah, I'll go with the green rocket for now. Okay. This is my page 3, which is my form. I think we should just run the application now to see what it looks like. Okay, so I've already got some data in here, but this is looks like a interactive report. It's got the create button here. I wonder if I could just move that up. Let's quick edit that. So it wasn't called create, they wanted it specifically called add. So we'll rename that to the add button. I wonder if we can move it to the breadcrumb. Best place in the breadcrumb is edit. Okay, so that's going to go to page 3. And this report is a cards report. So we'll use the cards. And cards container, let's give it a static ID. My cards, maybe. Okay, so we start pairing up the cards with the classes. Okay, so the card primary key column is ID. It did want to sort, didn't it? Where's the order? By item? No, we'll sort that out later. Okay, so ID, let's put I think it was the SKU at the top, and then it was the name, and then it was maybe the price, and the attributes, we don't have it yet. Let's put some, it keeps asking me for classes. Let's put a hot class on to see what happens. Oh, it was a 4x3, wasn't it? How do we do that? 4 columns here. Press save or run, which saves the page. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so how can we tidy this up a bit? So I remember well, let's look at the design actually. I'm missing anything. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just missing the summary. 1, 2, 3. And what did that want? That wanted a $sign. Okay, we can do this in CSS actually. So if I edit there, I'm going to find some CSS from my page, and let's go to the attributes. So the price was there. Okay, so I'm getting this, believe it or not, from ChatGPT. So I can put price, and then I've got before, and it puts a $sign there. So all I need to do then is go back to my cards, find the price, put on that class price, and I noticed it wasn't centered, was it? Okay, I've got an idea for that. Let's just keep price on. And then if I edit the template options, I think there is a style. A, that's okay. B, that's more centered. C, okay, go for style B. So I want my price centered, and there's a margin auto class. So this is the universal theme application, and if I go into I think it's layout modifiers, and there's margin auto there as a class. I mean, there's tons of class available, loads of them for alignments and arranging of things. So if we stick a margin auto on there, hopefully that will do the trick. So I've got my $sign. Okay, it's looking good. Good for me. Okay, so let's work on the form now, and we can always come back to that. Put the description on later. So to get to my form, it didn't really ask for an edit mode. It only asked for an add mode. But I want to work with an edit mode. Yeah, I want this junior interview. I want this job. So I'm going to add an edit. Do the additional. So I'm going to create a button. Edit. Let's go to a page in this application. It was page 3. I'm going to pass in. We'll set the ID to be my ID so I can edit it. Clear the cache, and we'll have a look at the form. Okay, so let's do NEC maybe. Okay, so I've got a product type, a SKU, a name, and a price, and then this attributes, which is the JSON. So this needs some serious tidying up. What order have we got? We have got SKU name price switcher. Okay. So if I go to page 3, okay, SKU, name, price, switcher. I think they call it product type switcher. What do they call it? Type switcher. Type switcher. That's a select list. Let's put some, take away the nulls basically. Attributes. Let's just keep that there for now. So refresh the page by reloading frame, which you can do easily in Chrome or Brave, which I'm using here. So I've got the SKU, got the name, got the price, the switcher. That looks okay. These are uppercase. I don't like that. I don't like that. So let's change. So it's a shared component. Let's go and edit it. This loads up the list of values in shared components, and we can just modify it. So that's correct table. Return an ID, yes please. Display, oh, I've got a description which is lowercase. Default by, that's fine. Okay, let's have a reload. Type switcher, book, DVD, furniture. I like it. Okay, so we're going to do some dynamic fields in here. And for this, we need a dynamic region. So let's go back to our page. It's under the product. Create a region below, and it'd be attributes. So in here we have a dynamic content. So the help says, okay, there's a loop. It's like doing a strong, skipping some values from a cursor. Fine, but I've got fields. So I have got this API I can use. A little bit scary because it says legacy next to it. Be aware there's no number field on here. I can't find, so I'm going to use text. Yeah, and here's some examples of text. Like, so you've got this ID first, and then you've got what's the second one? It's value, because it's coming from a field. And then we've got item label. Okay, let's just see what happens here. So in here, let's just borrow that. So I'll just borrow this. So result equals, okay, nothing to start with. Result equals result plus, and then return the result. Fine, okay. So we'll use that just to see what it looks like. So we'll call it 1. Let's put a value in, and let's have a nice label. So the label was item label. So I should just be able to do, what was one? Size in megabytes. Of course, that won't compile. Yep, looks good. Okay, so now I reload frame, and I've got the value. Where's my label? Well, in fact, what it does, if I inspect the page, it puts this class on visually hidden. So if I remove that, I don't want to keep removing that in jQuery each time, but that's the hidden label. Plus the field doesn't really look very good. I want it to look like that. It doesn't really look good. In fact, I want it to look like that so much, I'm just going to borrow this code. So where does the code start? Around here. So if I edit as HTML, copy that out, that's in my clipboard now. And let's do this. Oh, okay, fine. So we use the Q command here. Wrong way around. That's better. Right, so what I usually do here, that was quick. There was some bits that I don't need, so I'm going to remove off the stuff that I don't need, like these numbers. Don't like all that. This is good because it's a number field, it's price. Okay, so I'm going to replace off some things that I don't need. And in fact, I'm going to loop around this first because I need 3 fields for furniture. Okay, let's do for x in select star from x product type. Well, in fact, let's do a step back. So remember, in my SQL commands, I had these columns here. Yeah. So I have this special view, which looks like this. So it knows that in the type, we've got these fields here. So it's going to pull out the name, label, value type, units, and order in this special view here. So if I select from that view, it looks at ID 3, which is furniture, and pulls them all out. Isn't that really nice? And it gives me the data type, the labels, the names, everything. So let's just loop around that, in fact. Loop. So we'll have lots and lots of these fields. Hopefully enough for furniture. Let's do furniture, the most exciting field first. Then it's returning it. Okay, so I need to find and replace some of these things. So I'm going to use apex string format and just run there. Yeah, it looks good. Right. So P3 price. I don't need that in there. So if I find and replace and change it to %0, they've all gone. So I need to replace it with something else. So how about P3x and then maybe name, x.name. Okay, so this should all go then. What else do I need replacing? Price, well, that's the label. How many other prices have I got? Okay, fine. So price I'm going to change to there. So the next one, you see how this is working? I've got x got name. Oh, sorry, label. Value required, that's fine. Anything else? Well, I've got my value, haven't I? What are we up to? Number 2. And let's just put a number that we're going to recognize. We'll change that later. Seems a bit simple. Oh, okay. Where? What's my view again? My view is, oh, it's just ID. Oh, cool. So where ID equals P product type ID, which is that switcher. Oh, that was cool, wasn't it? P3 actually tells me the label of the item, type switcher. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I also let's try and tick that because that was a lot of work. So if I submit that, and I think I probably need to refresh it whenever I do the type switcher. Refresh attributes. Oh, refresh dynamic fields. That makes more sense. And I'll say change. So change of item dynamic field is refresh region attributes. I am expecting a bug, but we'll see. Change is saved. Reload frame. Okay. Book is in weight. Furniture. Oh, look at that. Refreshes with the values. Nice. It works. Great. Right, let's have another look at this. Attributes. So I've got a name, which is that. Okay, I think I need an alternate name.
A few moments later.
So in that name there, I'm going to use FO2. Yeah, so it's like an Apex item, like array FO2. And I am going to pipe on a hidden item. And I think I will do it just before that div here. Before the import makes sense, really. Okay, fine. Right, let's go back in the flow now. So on Apex item, I have got a hidden. There we go. So how does hidden work? An item and a value. Fine. Okay, it's probably because I didn't do that. Yep. And I need another queue to start another string off. Okay, so FO1 is that. FO2 is the answer to the field. FO1 hidden, and the value will be xname. Okay, remember xname is my my field. Like where are we here? Like length. So the value is going to be length, and FO2 is going to be the answer to the length. Yeah, okay, we're back in the flow now. Okay, what just happened here? Okay, where's that close brackets? Yeah, where's the first comma? So that matches up to there. Oh, X, what's that doing? Okay. Okay, so that's not 1, 2. I guess we've got no 3s. Correct. Correct. All, oops. All looking good. Let's look at furniture. Let's inspect them just to see they are correct. So we have a hidden FO1 with the height. We have FO2 with our answer. Awesome. We have width, FO1, cool, because it's an array, width, and then we've got FO2, the answer. Awesome. So we just need to save it now. So this process for creating returns a primary key. So that just means we need another process called setAttributes. Okay, so rather than me typing this in, I'm going to borrow a version here. Okay, so if you look at Apex JSON initialize club output, in fact, we can just do that now. Apex application, oh sorry, Apex JSON initialize club output. Yeah, there's a really good example here. Yeah, so if I just paste that here, opens club out, opens the object, writes hello, and the value world closes. So if I just replace all that with the actual code that I need, it's going to work really well. So open the object, and then I'm going to loop around all those hidden items, count them. I should have 3 of them. For each one, I'm going to write FO1, which is the name of the item, like length, and then I'm going to write FO2's value, which is the value like 99 or 105. So I'm going to write out those 3 fields that are available on the page, close the object, grab the whole JSON in a club, free it out, then I can update the product table, set the attributes to be that JSON where the ID is 3. Yep, where the ID is P3 ID. Let's compile that. Okay, so if I reload the frame, hopefully this is going to work. So just remember this is the NEC user app, and I'm going to change it to furniture, and let's just call it 3, 4, 5. Yep. Cool. NEC. And if I edit it, it should have saved it, but I need to bring it back. 3, 4, 5. Perfect. It saved the JSON in exactly what I wanted. So I just need to retrieve the values and pop it in there in the first place. So if I go to attributes here, remember there's that value. Where was that value? Value 2. 0, 1, 2. Yeah, the zeros. So I have a function here in VS Code. It is in functions. So I've got get the product attribute. Basically, I found this from Stack Overflow. So there's a problem with using JSON value where the string is dynamic in SQL. So someone on Stack Overflow, they provided this function. I've adjusted it slightly to bring back based on a tag and the product ID what that value is. So I'm going to use this. I need the product ID and then the tag. Okay, no problem. So paste that in. The product ID, well, that must be in P3 ID. P3 ID. And then I've got the tag. Well, since I'm going around the loop, it's just xname, isn't it? Xname. Compile. Yeah, looks good. And in refresh. Oh, look at that, 345. Let's change it to 34. And then on the NEC, 34, it's pulled it straight back. So I don't really need this attributes anymore. So I could just change that to a hidden. That's just for my my testing really. So it's pretty good, isn't it? So if I click on book, no book, DVD, furniture. Okay, so that probably needs a fix a bit later on to bring back that. Yeah, cool. Okay, it's working okay for now. There's the delete button there. What else do we need to do is the little function to bring back the summary. So time for another function. So in my functions, I've got this create summary. So you pass in the product ID and it joins it to the product type table. It just does a regular join there. And now this brings back the summary function. Let's just remind us what the summary function is. The summary function is, let's get the complicated one for the product. So a literal dimensions, get product attribute this time again. So I get in the height and an X and a width and an X and a length. I've got one parameter, the product ID, and that is going to bind it in. We've got the out here, which gets returned, and I'm binding the summary function in, binding the primary key in into the summary function. So this means I just need to pull it back on page 2 as a card item. So unfortunately, there is no such column for summary function. Therefore, unfortunately, I need to move it into SQL query. So Apex will convert it into a SQL statement. And then I can use that. And the product ID, which is just ID. Let's just call it summary. Let's tab off there. It looks valid. And the advanced formatting summary. In fact, I'm going to do a margin auto on there because I expect it not to be centered. Now, how's it looking? Where's that NEC? Oh, look at that. Perfect. 1, 5, 5, 6. Okay, it refreshes the page. That's interesting. So we've got 156 there. That's weight. So that's a book. There's a size in megabytes here. That one's already got one. Let's change this sit or the blue kite upgrade. That's a $4 item for a DVD. Okay, it's 44 megabytes. Looks good, doesn't it? So that's pretty much resembles resembles this. Yeah, this one has got the size, weight, dimension in there. Have we tried our add button? Not yet. We can do a mass delete. Let's try a mass delete next. But let's just check our add button. I don't think we tested this. So a SKU will be okay. This is going to be just put a film price $9.99. This is a DVD. DVDs are 4,000 megabytes. Oh, we didn't put a refresh on that button. Okay, so when we do a dialog closed button add, we're going to refresh. What we're going to refresh, the region, not breadcrumb, but product. And that would automatically refresh the page then, or the cards report, whenever we hit the button. In fact, by refreshing it, yeah, we should get our film, wherever that was. Film, $9.99, yep. Okay, let's add a bed. This is a bed, and let's call this $2.99, and that's a furniture. And the height, what's the height of a bed? 70. The width, 2 point. The length, don't know, 3. Create. Okay, what's happened here? The price. Okay, so the price is too high. Remember, we can only go up to 50. We've got a data constraint on that. So to pass the interview, really, we need to do a validation on there. So we'll get bonus points in our interview for that. So we'll call it price in range, and then we would say, I don't think we've got a between, have we? No. So we would say P3 price between 0 and 50. Let's just check that is good. Fine. So we say price, or we could say label. Label must be between. In fact, even better, minimum value, maximum value. Yeah, it's even better. Okay, now let's try it without a refresh. Oh, I reduced the price. Never mind. And it should have refreshed. Where's bed 01? There we go. $29 bed. Okay, cool. Right, I just think we need, I'll do a refresh. I think we just need now to do that mass delete button. So I think we can do a button on the right page, of course. Create button. Let's put in the same zone. Mass delete. Mass delete. Let's do a hot button. Why not? Which order did it want it? After the add button. Fine. That's in the right position. And we're going to do a tick box. Okay, so I can't declaratively add a tick box here, so I'm going to try a little hack. If I go to the item here and the attributes, so we've got that ID in the SKU. Well, there's an advanced formatting here. So it says something like this. Right, what is SKU? Okay, let's borrow that. So you can see I'm jumping between the console and an Apex as well. So NEC, so it looks like I do ampersand SKU here. Let's just look at that, just run that and to see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so page is opening up. It looks identical, that's what I wanted. So I just need to format it a little bit more now. So let's have another look. H3 class title, and then I've got SKU in there. Then I can end it here. Get some more screen. And then I'm going to introduce my own checkbox. So I've got a checkbox. I'm going to pull it to the left of the card, hopefully. All this pulling, pushing, margin, I think it's a float, so it pulls it to the left of the card, the checkbox. I'm going to have my own class on it so I can get the value of that multibox. And then when you click it, the value of that tick box for the ticked ones is going to be the ID. So it's the ID of the item, and that's just another column, isn't it? Just the primary key column. So if I run it now, have a look. Does the tick box? Oh wow, it looks okay. And I'm going to tick a few here. Now I need to get the value of all the ticks, the checkboxes. How do I know what the tick boxes are called? Well, they've all got this class called multibox. How do I find out in jQuery how to get all the IDs of all the ticks in a comma separated list? Well, you just ask ChatGPT these days. And how do you put them in an item? Well, you have dynamic action each time you click it to populate an item. So I'm going to have an item to populate them, and then we'll use some PL SQL to work with that item. So let's just have a text item so we can see in action. P2 selection. Okay, so this card, I think I give it a static ID earlier. My cards. Okay, so I'm going to use a dynamic action now. So when I think it's a change. Okay, so yeah, it's a change. Create dynamic action. So check boxes to page item. Change. This is just to remind me. So change selection type of, well, it's not an item because it's dynamically drawn. I can use a jQuery selector because it's multi-box. I'm going to use a dot because it's a class. This is not static because it's drawn dynamically, so I put dynamic, and then I put my cards, which is the region which doesn't change. Yeah, so the region doesn't change, but the contents of it does. So the contents are static. The region is static, but the contents are dynamic. So each time that changes, it should run this piece of code, and I'm going to use a SetValue. SetValue. I'm going to set it into the item P2 selection, and it's going to be a JavaScript expression. And okay, so I'm going to put that in there. I got this JavaScript from ChatGPT. I just said, given a checkbox with this class called multibox, how do I grab all the check values? And it give in a comma separated list. And you ask a specific question and you get the actual code. So perfect. Now, do I want to run this on initialization? Fine, I probably do. Let's get more screen. So there's my selection, tick 1, 13, tick 2, 54. So on change of checkboxes, it gets all the checkbox values and puts them in this separated list here. Okay. What if I remove them all? I think I should have 0. Perfect. So I don't want to see that item anymore, actually. So I'm going to set that to hidden, not protected, because I'm going to change different things. And then let's just process that mass delete then. Mass delete. First thing, I only want this to run when you click mass delete. And let's do item is not null. So you've got some values in there. P2 selection. Yeah, that's fine. So in my function, in my process, I need to delete from product. Yeah, where the ID in. Now this XML table makes a comma separated list of what's in a page item, P2 selection. So I can do like a comma separated in list. So I think I'm close to the end now, really. Let's just delete 77 and 4, I think. So they should be the hidden item. Oh, I missed something off. Hidden. I didn't refresh the page. That's kind of important. So 77 and number 4, mass delete. They've gone. They've not gone. Let's just check that again. Delete where is null. Oh no, it's not null. That's what we wanted. Okay, 1 and 2. Mass delete. There we go. They've deleted. So I think that's kind of working really. I don't think I've missed anything off. So we've got the cards, we've got the summary, we've got the prices, we've got the checkbox, we've got the must-haves, we've got the UI we're not interested in. We have got, we didn't have the dynamic product description. I mean, that should be nice and easy to get the value out from the product type table. In fact, I'll just skip that one off. Yeah, product switcher. I think it kind of works really. No dialogues. Submit the work, test it. Good luck. I think I've done it. I don't think there's anything more I want to do at this time. Yeah, the add appears to work. The add. I needed to change that, didn't I? So when it first came up, no attributes. Okay, so the attributes work from pushing that one in. That is going to be null. Maybe I just need a default to start with. Well, I guess it should be just a quick fix. Just spend some more time on it. It's working that time. Yeah, for default to DVD, which was ID number 1. We've got the size in megabytes. Book. Yeah, I think this is looking good now. Probably I need to do some validations on these fields. Just check if they're not null. Tidy some of the spacing up maybe. Could have the modal in the middle. It did look on the specification that the modal was, well, it wasn't a modal, was it? It was a completely different page. Some things I can tidy up here. Save and cancel buttons, I think you get those for free. Yeah, so I think I'm done on this. I think I'm kind of happy with that. So yeah, I could submit this as my attempts as the junior developer, and yeah, maybe I'll get some response from the company. Yeah, so thank you for following along with that. It was very enjoyable doing this this video for you. If you've got any questions, just please let me know. Thank you very much for watching.